Think about what it means for something to be fair. When you split a pizza equally, or when a teacher grades everyone's project the same way, you're experiencing justice. Law and justice go hand in hand. Laws are the specific written down rules for a society, like a guidebook. Justice is the goal, making sure those rules are applied fairly and morally. Without rules, laws, you get chaos. Without fairness, justice, the rules don't matter. The rule of law is one of the biggest ideas in democracy. It means that the law is boss, not any single person. Imagine the President of the United States gets a speeding ticket. They have to pay it just like everyone else. Why? Because the rule of law says no person, no matter how rich or powerful, is above the rules. This principle is what keeps a democracy from becoming a dictatorship where leaders can do whatever they want. The supremacy of law means our Constitution and laws stand at the very top of the power structure. The government itself, the President, Congress, and the courts, can only act because the law gives them the power to do so. They can't just invent power out of nowhere. Also, the laws must be clear so everyone can know what they are. You can't be punished for breaking a secret law. This principle is about fairness in application. The law must be applied equally to everyone. It shouldn't matter if you're a rich CEO or a new immigrant. If you commit the same crime, you should face the same justice process. The symbol of Lady Justice is often blindfolded for a reason. It shows that justice should ignore a person's status or appearance and only focus on the facts and the law. Accountability is a necessary check on power. It means that government officials, from police officers to elected representatives, are responsible for their actions and decisions. If a senator misuses public money, they can be investigated and face legal charges. This is crucial because it ensures those we give power to can't just act recklessly or illegally without consequences. Protecting citizens from official corruption. Where do our laws come from? At the top is the Constitution. Think of it as the ultimate blueprint for the country. It doesn't contain every little rule, but it sets up the government structure, limits the power of leaders, and guarantees your most fundamental rights, like freedom of speech. Any new law that Congress passes must agree with the principles laid out in the Constitution. Statutes are the everyday laws we see passed by our elected representatives. When Congress or your state legislature votes on a new rule, that becomes a statute. These are specific laws on specific topics, like setting the legal drinking age, determining environmental protections, or establishing penalties for littering. They are the written rules that address the changing needs of society. Not all law is written down in formal acts. Common law is a tradition that started in England and is based on judicial precedent, which is just a fancy way of saying what the judge decided last time. If a new case is very similar to an old one, the judge will likely follow the previous ruling to keep the law consistent. It's like building law on top of past decisions, one case at a time. The legal world is mainly split into two types of law. Criminal law is about protecting the public from harmful acts like vandalism or robbery. When someone breaks a criminal law, the government prosecutes them, and the penalty is usually jail time or a fine. Civil law is about solving disagreements between people or companies, like who is at fault in a car accident or a fight over a contract. The penalty here is usually money, not prison. Courts are the operational centers for the rule of law. They are the neutral places where we settle conflicts peacefully. When two people disagree over a contract, or when the government accuses someone of a crime, the court steps in. Judges and juries listen to the evidence and apply the law to the facts. The court's job is vital. They ensure that the laws passed by the legislature are carried out fairly. For courts to be truly fair, they need judicial independence. This means judges should not have to worry about losing their jobs or being pressured by political leaders. Imagine if the president could threaten a judge to rule in their favor. Justice would be lost. Independence ensures judges can make tough decisions based only on the law and the facts, even if those decisions are unpopular. Due process of law is the promise that the government must follow fair procedures when dealing with people, especially when someone is accused of a crime. It's the government's way of playing by the rules. It says that before the government can take away your life, liberty, or property, they must give you a fair hearing and follow established legal steps. It is a shield against government overreach. Due process includes many important rights we often hear about. If you are accused of a crime, you have the right to know what the charges are, and you have the right to a quick trial. Perhaps most importantly, you have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, one will be provided. These rights are fundamental to ensure a level playing field between the powerful government and the individual citizen. This is a powerful concept. In America, you are innocent until proven guilty. If the government accuses you of a crime, they have the entire burden of proof. It's not your job to prove you didn't do it. It's the government's job to prove that you did. This standard, requiring the prosecution to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt, is a crucial protection against people being unfairly locked up. The rule of law is only meaningful if everyone has access to justice. If the legal system is so complicated and expensive that only the very wealthy can afford good legal help, then the principle of equality before the law is broken. That's why we have public defenders and legal aid services, to ensure that even people with limited money can navigate the complex legal system and stand up for their rights. The jury is one of the most direct ways citizens participate in the justice system. A jury is a group of ordinary people who listen to the evidence and decide the facts of the case. They act as the conscience of the community. Their presence ensures that the outcome of a trial isn't just decided by one judge, but by a cross-section of peers who can use common sense and fairness. Justice extends beyond just the courtrooms. In the larger community, laws are designed to protect civil rights, ensuring everyone is treated fairly, regardless of race, gender, or religion. When laws promote equality and respect, they contribute to a socially harmonious society. A just community is one where laws not only punish wrongdoers, but also create opportunities and fairness for all citizens. Sometimes, just punishing a person with jail time doesn't fix the damage done. Restorative justice is a growing idea that focuses on repairing the harm. Instead of just asking, what law was broken, it asks, who was harmed, and how can we make it right? It often involves the victim, the offender, and the community meeting to discuss the impact and agree on a way for the offender to make amends. We rely on law enforcement, the police, sheriffs, and other agencies to enforce the laws passed by the government. Their job is to maintain order and keep communities safe. However, they are also bound by the rule of law. Officers cannot use excessive force or illegally search a person's home. They too must follow the rules, which maintains public trust and legitimacy in the system. The final lesson is that the rule of law isn't automatic. It requires citizens to be active. You have a responsibility to learn about the law, and when you're old enough, to vote for leaders who respect justice and the Constitution. Serving on a jury, if called, is one of your most vital civic duties. By staying informed and participating, you become a guardian of the very principles of law and justice that protect your freedom.